Hey everyone, it's your guy Sly here, coming at you with a new beginner video. Today I'm going to be focused on playing support with Sona on the bot lane. Feel free to leave a comment below if you have tips and or questions. So let's get into it, shall we? So first off, let's go ahead and buy the recommended items at the top of your list. Perfect for Sona. Not all characters it works well for, but for Sona it is just fitting for her. So first of all, let's go ahead up to the top of the river up here and ward the bush directly under the middle. Right out in the middle of the river so it can ward against a incoming steal on our jungler's red. Notice I pinged to be careful of their bot lane that our ADC is currently kind of messing with, and I go ahead and put an excited kitty out there, because I'm excited for this match to begin. Now we're going to poke a little bit, try to get a little pressure, so it makes it a little bit harder for them to come out into the lane and fight us straight up after they leash their jungler, which is probably what they're doing since their team's at blue currently. Speaking of being aware of the map, warding is highly needed for any lane, not just support. But support's job is to make sure you place those wards that our support item will eventually build into, but you'll see that a little bit further on into the match. So notice I just pinged that the enemies are missing. It lets everybody know that our lane has not showed up yet and to be careful. Alright, so they finally showed up. Now we're just going to do some autoing on Alistar a little bit to kind of poke him down a little bit. We don't want to use our Q too often on him because we want to conserve mana. But I will every now and again. We want to make sure we have our main focus on their ADC. In this case, it's Vayne. Make sure you try to Q her as often as possible if you're playing Sona. Or any ADC, not just Vayne. But it's your most damaging move on their ADC. And be able to keep your distance. Awesome. Our top lane just took first blood, which provides an early gold boost for us. I think it's 300 gold if I remember correctly. Alistar just went in on me. He went in hard, so they're heals. I had to pop my flash and use my heal to get me out of that sticky situation. My summer spell heal helps heal me, and it also provides a little bit of movement speed to help you get out of those sticky situations like that if they ever do engage hard on you. So you want to be able to pop it and be able to get out. Alistar's playing real hard. He went in on our ADC, but that's fine. We're going to kind of poke their ADC and kite her and try to get her away from our ADC. So our ADC can pick up that kill on Alistar she started. And hopefully get this Vayne as soon as she can get some time. Okay, so hopefully she will avenge my death, and Vi just did. Thank you, jungle. With the help of our ADC, chasing her down. Also, shout out to Jinx on that one. Notice how my ADC just went after their tank support. If you're gonna support ADC, just for future purposes, try not to go after the tank. But that's for our ADC video. But anyhow, now, as you can see, we are pinging that people need to be careful and people are missing all over the place. On the mini-map, our Vayne on the other team is missing at the moment. I just caught out their support a little bit to do a little bit of extra poke damage, which is also most welcomed for me anyhow. Maybe not for him, but for me it is. Alright, so we're gonna hang back here, try to stick behind the lines. Try to maybe survive this very large minion wave, and hopefully our ADC can get all of her last hits to get her sweet gold. Try not to take that CS or creep score or minions away from your ADC. That's her sole gold income pretty much. But you have your support item. This particular support item that I currently have on me, it will give me gold every time I auto the enemy team or tower. So try to auto the enemy team if you can, but like I said before, don't go all in. Try to stay at a distance and poke them down little by little, whittle down their health as much as you can without going all in and getting yourself trapped or caught in a bad situation. Alright, so she did a pretty good job at clearing the wave, and now we're back underneath their tower. Notice we're a little bit too far pushed up right now, so I'm gonna kind of pull back a little bit to try to get our ADC to watch out for that potential jungle gank. It's never a good thing to stay pushed up like that, because without vision especially, I would ward that river if I could, but I already used my ward a little bit earlier to watch for the incoming red buff steal. So ADCs, try to help out your support if your support is kind of running low on wards, because it's the entire team's job to provide vision on the field. So we're going to keep up our poke on the bot lane, keeping our distance, trying to be a little bit wary of that potential jungle gank. But we're going to solve that problem here as soon as I can get my control ward, which is, by my opinion, one of the best items in the game, since it sweeps for their wards to destroy their wards and to provide you vision until it is destroyed. Now, notice that our mid is pinging us to be careful because his laner's missing, so that means it's time to fall back a little bit. I was hoping our ADC would have fell back a little bit sooner until she was able to ward, but that's all good. Good. My ADC finally warded the river. Vision wins games. I said it before and I'll say it again. It is 100% important for vision to be out on the field. You never want to face check or blind check a bush, because you could be running right into their enemy jungler, which rarely ends well. Alright, so we're gonna keep up the pressure down on bot lane. We're gonna kind of hang back it, like I said. Early game, there's a lot of this hanging back, so bear with me. You don't want to go all in it. Sometimes it can get a little bit hairy and like people go all in on you, but most good early games are usually a give and take thing. You don't want to go all in, but you don't want to hang back too far, because if you hang back too far, the enemy's ADC can get all of her creep score or CS. You want to be able to try to zone her off or push her off her minion wave the best way you possibly can do it. Up. Now they did a hard engage on me again. Notice how I didn't start freaking out pressing all kinds of buttons. You want to stay calm under the pressure and use your whatever ability you have to try to CC or crowd control your ADC out of that bad place and back into the game again. Unfortunately, my ADC wasn't there to take advantage of the opening that I gave her because she was too busy running for her life. But I was still able to secure the kills as Sona, which helps overall on my gold, I guess. But as a support, I prefer to give those kills to my ADC if at all possible. At the same time, you don't want those kills to get away, so you gotta get them. Alright, notice I bought my first item. That item for healers does an extremely good job, and I bought some health pots too. So keep that in mind. Health pots and sticky situations like you saw a couple times already. Popping the health pot as soon as those situations goes off will save you in the long run. Make sure you do not forget about your trinkets and your health pots on your hotkeys. 1, 2, 3, whatever you may have them on at the bottom right corner of your screen, as you can see down there.
An ally has been slain.
Also notice how I used my ult in that situation. Go back and look at it if you want to. It kind of happened kind of quickly. I don't mind it. I strongly encourage you to break down chaotic plays like that to really get a grasp of exactly what I did, because it's hard to like fully break down that play in the split second it happens. But I used my ultimate to be able to stun pretty much at least their ADC, so take her out of the game so my ADC can do what she does best and poke them and be able to run and be able to open up some smooth kills on that stunned ADC that I just opened up. Sona's ult does do a little bit of damage, so be careful for that if you're going to play Sona. Try not to steal kills the best way you can. Yep, we just got caught, but see how I just used my ult to break that initiation Lee just got on us. Which also, as you just saw, awesome job by the ADC in that instance. She was able to drop back because they were stunned and then finish them off with everything she had. With Sona, you want to use her ultimate attack as pure either engagement, going in on their team, or disengaging their team, getting out of it. When Lee's coming in hot, you don't want to be in his way. Not unless you're ready for the consequences of it. Now, Alistar, as you just saw, has amazing tanking capabilities, and that's why I said earlier, ADCs should not focus on the tanks when on the bot lane. Always try to get that ADC down because she is squishy. Even if the tank has 10% health and the ADC still has a full health bar, you're more likely to have an easier time taking out that ADC than you do their tank. Alrighty, so we got our first item. Now grab some boots to go along with it. Normally I would recommend getting boots a little bit earlier, but someone that has some pretty decent movement speed with her E, so I'm not really worried about it straight out the gate with her. And also notice that I've picked up a nice item to help me to maintain my mana, because now I can be a little bit more flexible with my Q, poke him a little bit more with it. Get that nice mana regen going. Awesome. Most of my team is grouping up, which is what you want as a support. You want to have your team together so you're able to control the fight. That is the primary goal of a support, is to control the fight with your abilities. Make sure your team stays up. Make sure you can help your team engage on the enemy. Just like this on Vayne here. Got to pretty easy kill on her because she wasn't aware of my ult. And also disengage when you need to. Be aware of your team going in hot, because if you depend on your team to just play exactly the way you want them to play, they'll do just the opposite 9 times out of 10. So you've got to be on your toes. You've got to play off unless you can disengage to help control the field. Such as Sona's R. Nami has her R, which is a wave where she sends it out and wipes the whole entire field and pops them all up in the air, and so on and so forth. Tarek provides invulnerability for the entire team. You get the picture. They are really good about disengaging and engaging the enemy team and causing chaos and overall destruction from the rest of the team on the field. And we can't undersell Sona's Q either, as you saw earlier in the match. Be very careful of Sona's Q, especially if you're playing against her. So now we're going to try to watch out for Dragon. I just spotted her Lee, stole his jungle from him, so it makes me happy. Ward their Dragon. There's that control ward I was talking about. It revealed their ward, and it provides vision for us as well. So now they couldn't actually see us take Dragon. They know that we did, because the Dragon roar and everything, but they at least couldn't see us. Looks like Vi just got caught out. She pushed a little bit too deep into her jungle there, but that's okay. We just keep going. We do us. Alright, notice how I'm staying pretty close to my ADC. Want to try to stay close to ADC, just like I said earlier. Oh, ADC's getting in a bad pinch spot here, but I have my ult to disengage if needed. So I will follow her this instance. But most times you do not want to follow another character if they're going in way too deep and you know you can't save them. Like you saw a minute ago, I had my ultimate. I was able to get their Vayne when she ulted and rain on her little parade, so to speak. Make her hate Sona a little bit more. Try to top off your allied team with your heal. Probably saw the amount of heal I just did on them. With Sona and Soraka, I know from both, the Chalice is amazing because the more stacks it has on it, the more powerful their heal becomes when you use it. Alright, as you saw, I've had to pick up another control ward just because they destroyed my original control ward in the Dragon Pit. My ADC just got herself killed for not listening to the ping, so be aware of when people ping you. Notice I just used that heal item I just bought. It is semi-global heal item. It's good to help out your team if you're not actually physically there to assist your team and plays. It will help you get an assist off if you're running a little bit low on assists. And it really gives your teammates a leg up on the enemy team. Notice every time we get engaged on, I usually have my ult up. I'm being very selective on when I use my ult. You don't want to just use the ult all the time. Alright, so I just got caught, went a little bit too deep. I tried to flash out, tower was on me. I got a little bit too tunnel vision on my teammates that went too deep and got myself in a bad situation that I could not get out of. So that's a prime example of what not to do as a support. If you believe your team is going way too far over the edge and there's no way for you to help them, don't go in. Save yourself the trouble and the gold from the enemy team and kind of hang back. Alright, so as you can see, I replaced my initial trinket with the sweeping lens, which, like I said before, helps search for enemy wards, and it also helps search for Teemo's mushrooms as well, and enemy traps on the field. Always keep the field warded up. Try not to face check bushes if at all possible, but I know you have to sometimes, just like I did, to be able to put a ward in the bush. But I also have my R. I'm caught out alone. I was hoping that my mid would save me, but unfortunately it didn't really pan out the way I wanted it to. He kind of ignored the warning pings that I was issuing. And again, try not to be tilted when your ally team seems like they're kind of siding on the enemy team. It is very frustrating when your team does not do what you want them to do to kind of help you out of sticky situations like I was just in. Now, it looks like our Vi should be setting up for the Baron, or try to ward around Baron at least. Good, she is sweeping for enemy vision, which, like I said before, is all the team's job to help ward and sweep. I just went and did a second check, just make sure she didn't miss any wards, and place a control ward down on the Baron. Like I said before, that control ward stays there all game long until someone comes by and destroys it. So it's really good to place that on Baron or Dragon or something like that. Alright, so notice that their Lee just got caught out alone. That's usually a byproduct of having no vision on the field. I don't know if they had vision there or not, but usually that's what happens. We're going to try to keep them away from our ADC trying to take Dragon, which usually isn't a good idea to do when their team's there. But I had my ult, so I wasn't too worried about it. Alright, try to help out my top here by casting my trinket and go all in with my heals and pokes on Renekton to be able to save him. That was a pretty sticky situation he was in, but we were able to pull that through for our top. Notice how I'm sweeping for this Teemo Shrooms. I highly recommend you get that sweeping item as soon as your support item builds up. You complete your quest for that support item. When you complete the quest, like you may or may not have saw, it popped up on my screen earlier. I apologize I didn't point it out sooner, but you can see in the bottom right corner how it has a little number underneath it. That's how you know if it has a control ward in it. So as soon as it gets a control ward, you can replace the ward you originally started out with a sweeping lens to help you against stuff like Teemo. And the enemy's wards, of course. As you've noticed, their team keeps getting caught out. You know, they're not really grouping very well. When they do group up, they kind of trickle in. they go in one at a time, and it usually runs up in a bad situation for their team. So try to avoid that the best way you can. If, like I said before, if your team goes in on something that you know for absolute certain that they're not going to win, if it's like one Jinx and their entire team and she's underfed, don't follow. Okay, notice how I'm using my ult to zone out their jungle off of my ADC again. Give my ADC a little bit of time to get a heal in. We should have ran a little bit sooner. You don't want to stay around in lane once you get a really good play down, because you can pretty much count on their team coming in and wrecking your day. So as soon as you get an objective or get a really good push on a lane, go ahead and peace out, you know what I'm saying, and go back to your base. Alright, so we're gonna go and get this little item here. This particular item, the locket, it will shield all allies that are nearby me. It does shield them a little bit, but it's not a huge shield. It's just enough for those tight pinches. Notice I'm trying to get my team to group when I was pinging for assistance. Trying to get them to group up together. Hoping to push to win here, because it's actually a really good position we are in right now. We are pretty fed at this moment, 32-24. So right now would be perfect time for us to fully group and push to win, but unfortunately my team's kind of pushing up without the rest of the team, so try to stay together on your push in, because you could get caught out, and as we all know, getting caught out is never a happy ending. Well, almost never. Alright, so gonna try to watch out for these wards here. Ward on the other side of their wall provides a vision into their base, so our team can poke them over the wall. Notice how I just initiated. Alright, hopefully my team will take advantage of it. Unfortunately, they didn't take advantage of my heal trinket, but that's all good. We pretty much destroyed them at this point. It's just them stalling out the game. Yeah, they could come back in theory, but those are very extremely rare. This game is pretty much over at this point. Sweeping for that Teemo shroom. He died to push out that shroom, but unfortunately it was not enough. Anyway guys, it's been fun. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell as well so you get notified as I come out with more content. Drop me a comment if you have any tips and or questions for me as well. I hope everybody has a great day, and SlyGuy out.